So currently the United States has many different problems. But what we continue to hear is that one country is not going to back down. And by them not backing down, this puts the United States in a very difficult situation because this war is far from over, which means the United States is getting dragged closer and closer to this war. Meaning, we could potentially jump into a war that we did not start and we had no intention of ever joining. Now, I'm going to address that in just a moment, but what you need to understand is that according to the Biden administration, they are saying that they have to do everything in their power over the next 2 months. We really have about 75 days to fix this issue before it all turns upside down. So, I'm going to address that in just a moment. All I ask is one thing, it takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So here's where everything starts. Everything is currently stemming from this war between Israel and Hamas. And look at this. It says, after 100 days of war, Israel is not backing down. Israel does not want to back down. They know people are losing their lives, but they have a greater goal in mind, according to them. They are sacrificing the lives of civilians and the innocent, women and children and the elderly, in order to get rid of Hamas. That's what they're saying. So, Israel vows increased military pressure on Hamas even after we've hit 100 days. We hit 100 days yesterday. So now, again, this is past the 100-day mark. But this is where things are getting serious because what we continue to hear right now is that the Biden administration is pushing Benjamin Netanyahu and wants him to kind of restrain himself. Okay? Well, here's what Iran is telling us. Look at this. Iran says the U.S. can't call for restraint while backing Israel's war in Gaza. Guess what the United States is trying to do? We're trying to send $60 billion to Ukraine. We're trying to send over $14 billion to Israel and send a little bit of money for humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Obviously, Iran doesn't like that. And Iran, I want to just read you this because this is kind of what we're going to see. Look at this. It says senior officials in Yemen's Sana'a, they're the Houthi leaders, told us that as long as the genocide in the Gaza war continues, they will take action to prevent the movement of Israeli ships or ships heading to Tel Aviv. Okay? In Israel. So again, keep that in mind. That's where we're at. Okay? Now, again, we reach 100 days. Well, here's what we know from President Biden. President Biden is running out of patience with Bibi, who is Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. And again, after we hit 100 days, he's been telling Israel to back off, to try to get the hostages out. We're over 100 days in, and we still have hostages in Gaza. That's troubling. But here's where some say this war is far from over because of something that's coming up. Look at this right here. Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Nikki Haley are all leading President Biden in a new poll. They're all leading him in a new poll. And I want to show you this poll. Obviously, poll numbers, they can be easily swayed, all right? But look at this. So here's the poll numbers right here. Choice for 2024 President Biden head-to-head matchups. If it's Biden against Trump, okay, here's Trump right here. He's at 50%, Biden's at 48%. If it's Nikki Haley at 53% versus Biden at 45%. And then Ron DeSantis, 51% versus 48%. The one reason why this one is so close is because it's a rematch of what we had before. Okay? That's really the only reason why. Now, it's because of this, because of these polling numbers that the Biden administration continues to get, that what we are hearing is that the Biden administration is trying to do everything in their power to just get us out of this war between Israel and Hamas. The only way to do that at this point, Israel stops bombarding Gaza with missiles. That just has to happen. The other thing, and this is where things get very interesting, is how do we get out of this war between Russia and Ukraine? The only way we get out of it is Russia backs out, which is seen as very unlikely, or Ukraine just gives up control of those areas that Russia has taken control over. That's very unlikely at this point as well. So that's another issue. These wars that are happening, and then the United States is in the Red Sea. I think we got the USS Carney in the Red Sea, and that ship continues to take fire from the Yemen Houthis. Again, this is causing the Biden administration to lose voters. And I know it's troubling, and especially if you're a Biden supporter, you're thinking, well, are we going to do something? Is something going to happen? But not just a Biden supporter or a Trump supporter or a DeSantis supporter or a Haley supporter. It doesn't matter. Are you a U.S. supporter? Do you support the United States? Is this the country that you live in? If it is, you just want to see that it's getting better. We're not seeing us involved in wars that we have no business being in. It's not, seeing thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants cross into the United States without any repercussion. They come into the United States looking for a better life, looking to work and just improve. That's great. The problem is there's a process. Now, should the process be easier? Maybe. But that's something that has to go through Congress. And that's the reason why some believe the Biden administration is not pushing to get this fixed. Because if they fix it, they understand the only way to fix it is to slow down immigrants from coming into the United States. There's not going to be enough border agents. There's not going to be a big new process system to process new immigrants. It's not going to happen that way, especially not quickly. But again, this is where some are saying the Biden administration has no clue what they're doing. But maybe they do. This is their plan to let all these people into the United States, and then when we get closer to the election, or possibly after the election, some believe it would be right after the election, then we see something for border security. I don't know what's going to happen. All I can tell you is this war between Israel and Hamas, this is not going to end. Some believe we are about halfway there. Okay? We're in it for about 100 days so far. We have about another 75 days to go. And the reason why people are saying 75 days is because that gets us to the end of the first quarter. Based off what we're hearing is that campaign experts say that any issue has to be resolved by the first quarter of that election year. If not, it would drag on into the election talks, drag on to campaigns, and then that could hurt that particular candidate, which is why the Biden administration may be wanting to get all this stuff resolved within the next 75 days so that their administration is not hurt in the upcoming election. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is that is what we know at this time. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.